What is up, ladies and gentle nerds? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet, and today we are looking at another random card. So let's see, what did we get? We got Electrodominance. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. Okay, this thing is crazy busted. So this is one of those cards where I don't exactly know how they got away with printing this thing, and beyond that, I don't know why nobody's playing this thing. Like, honestly, it's crazy good. Okay, so Electro Dominance, what does it do? It is an instant. Okay, just instant speed, which is, in my opinion, possibly the most beautiful card type. Just and even which is funny because I know that actually Mark Rosewater does not like the type instant. He mentioned that once on his Drive to Work podcast. He would rather they have created sorceries as sorceries, but then some sorceries had flash, just because that would be a cleaner design and make it consistent with other card types. And actually, I can appreciate that. That makes a lot of sense, and so I see where he's coming from. But we got our instance, and it makes me happy. I'm glad that they moved away from interrupts. Folks who have been around for a very long time would know that there was a time when they had a spell type called interrupt, which functions similarly to an instant, except there were certain things. I don't know. There were weird rules, and I think instants were a type as well. So you had like interrupts and instants. I got to admit, I haven't been around that long, so I'm not exactly sure the differences there. Also, you will not see a detailed discussion of banding here. Okay, just kidding. We'll probably see that at some point because that's one of those that like my brain breaks when I think about it. But anyway, so we haven't even gotten past the card type. So Electro Dominance is an instant, which is beautiful. Love it. Especially at rare. Rare instants, usually that means they're awesome. I'm listening. So this particular one, it costs X red red. All right, so convert a mana cost of whatever you want more than 2. Electrodominance deals X damage to any creature. Okay, so right there we have Blaze already with 1 additional red. Now, what does that 1 additional red get you? You may cast a card with converted mana cost X or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. There are so many things you can do with this. Like, so many things. And now that I think about it, why is this not in Temur Reclamation? Can someone explain to me why Electrodominance is not currently in Temur Reclamation? Because right now, Expansion Explosion is like the win condition, and you ramp up to it and have an obscene amount of mana. Like Electrodominance and then whatever else you want could be a potential closer for that deck. I don't understand why it's not in there. Like just the additional X damage. I mean, that's ultimately all you need when you have that much at your disposal. But just being able to get an extra something is just icing. I suppose and I'm not saying you should remove the 4 explosions. I'm just saying throw 1 Electrodominance in there, see what happens. Um, anyway, because this card rules. It's incredibly powerful, and it is currently standard legal, but for some reason it's just apparently not good enough to make it. Although actually, now that I'm looking at it, my brain is going into full. I'm having a beautiful mind jank moment where I'm just seeing all the different connective points. Like you're watching inspiration unfold as I'm staring at this beautiful, stupid instant. Um, I'm a little unnerved at the fact of how many wild cards I'm going to have to spend to build this deck, but here's my thought. An Electro Dominance deck running all of the ultimatums and then an obscene amount of ramp. So you just ramp up into Electro Dominance and then just ultimatum like crazy because you don't care about actually hitting the particular pips on the ultimatum. You just care about, in this case, you'd be paying for it without paying its mana cost. So it would just straight up it'd be free as long as you can Electro Dominance for 9. Now I understand, yes, you're hitting an Electro Dominance for 9. That's not easy, but with Uro, Growth Spiral, Arboreal Grazer, Nissa, it's not that hard. Like you can do it. You can actually do it fairly easily in what's available right now. Yeah. So that or a Team of Reclamation, a janky Team of Reclamation build without the explosions and introducing Electro Dominance and which ultimatum am I thinking of? Um, I'm thinking of the Jeskai one, Inspiring Ultimatum, I think it is, where you deal 5 damage, draw 5 cards. Um, yeah, there's something here. There's something here, guys. there's got to be something here. So yeah, I'm thinking that's with how much ramp is available, this card needs to get broken. And the one thing that standard has been missing up until recently is a good X spell that you can really use as that you can really get from this. But the other thing that you can do here that it's easy to not realize is you can instant speed cast any spell. You can instant speed cast any spell with this out of nowhere. You don't have to have a Tef on the board. You don't have to have a Leyline of Anticipation. Anticipation? I think that's the one, the blue one. You know the one I'm talking about. Um, you don't. You just get it for free. So at the end of your opponent's turn, after they've done a whole bunch of nonsense, you can just casually throw down an Electrodominance for 5 and all of a sudden have an Ashiok Dreamrender on the field, or you can throw an Electrodominance for 7, deal 5 damage directly to your opponent's face, and then throw down your Nissa or your Vivian or whatever, and then go into your turn and if so that they have not had a chance to react to what you did. And on top of that, that 5 damage that you're getting off of Electrodominance could actually destroy one of their, like, it could destroy their biggest threat. The other thing you could do is this could be a really nasty combat trick. If your opponent is swinging at you and and they think they have lethal, you can Electrodominance, blast one of their attackers, and then play in a potentially fairly large defender. So that kind of thing. I mean, Electrodominance as a sideboard option for Gruul. I think there might be something there as a way of coming back or as a way of cheating your stuff out at instant speed. That's the other thing. Right now, flash decks are very, very good and they're very consistent. They're very common. You have Simic Flash, you also have a Demir Flash, which is fairly new. And as a result, you also get Sultai Flash. Hooray! So they're countering all your stuff, they're throwing all kinds of stuff. But more importantly, they're playing cards like Nightpack Ambusher on your end step. So if you have instant speed things that can interact with it, I mean, an Electrodominance in hand is a dead Nightpack Ambusher on your opponent's turn and you get your spells. So you wait through your whole turn. You let them just chill, waiting until your end step. Then they throw a Nightpack Ambusher for 4. You could then Electrodominance as long as you can pay 6 for it, kill their Nightpack Ambusher by dealing 4 damage to it, and then cheat in whatever 4-drop you might have played anyway, which they now are not able to counter because they tapped out to play their Nightpack Ambusher. I mean, so that kind of a situation can occur. You can get instant speed chicanery with this. Also, I'm a big fan of the word chicanery these days. I hope you don't mind because it's kind of not going anywhere. Yeah, I gotta say, Electrodominance is freaking rad. This is one of those cards that the moment I read it, I was like, this breaks everything. Holy cow. And now, like, and I don't see it anywhere. Like, I don't see anybody running this outside of Commander, like in a Mizzix deck or something like that, where you can get the X cost reduced and do all kinds of other nasty spell slinger stuff, which, and that implementation of it is great. Like, absolutely. If you're running any kind of Is It spell slinger nonsense, this is like a shoe-in because it's a Fireball plus. Like, it's a Fireball plus like an instant speed Fires of Invention. Like, it's bonkers. Like, I think this card is absolutely phenomenal, and I think a ton of people are sleeping on it, myself included. So I think I need to get on that. I need to brew a deck around this because it freaking rules. And on top of that, you see an image of, I believe, Ral Zarek. It's either Ral Zarek or a or generic Is It Spark Mage. It's kind of tricky to see from this image, but they're holding a gauntleted hand back into what appears to be some kind of generator that is like shooting sparks into their hand, and then out of the other hand they're launching a huge beam of light. Um, yeah, it's this big old electric storm that they're just kind of the conduit of in the center. That's pretty cool. That's just like that is a wizard doing wizard stuff. That's what that is. Yeah, and I dig that. That's if you see an Is It mage being a total badass Is It mage, boom. This is it. It's on Electrodominance. Oh, we also have flavor text. Let's check it out. Basically, we turn a bunch of little lightnings into one big lightning. Yeah, that fits. That's exactly that's exactly right. For that flavor to be For that flavor to be even better, though, the one thing that I would love to see on this card, which it doesn't need, this card's awesome as it is, but the one thing that this card doesn't have that the flavor kind of suggests is if instead of you may cast a card with converted mana cost X or less from your hand without paying its mana cost, if it had you may cast cards in your hand with a total converted mana cost up or of X or less. That way you could cast like 3 or 4 like smaller things that add up to the total. But that would be a little confusing, and also the wording on that would be super awkward. I stumbled across it even just trying to say it out loud, so I can only imagine how gumpy that card would read. Um, so it's probably for the best that they didn't do that. But all the same, this card rules. Electrodominance, seriously, check it out. It's great. If you're running any kind of spell slinger, anything. If you're running any kind of gruel, anything. If you're running any kind of red anything, take a look. The one thing, Fires of Invention, actually, this is not a very good fit for because except possibly coming out of the sideboard against Flash. That's the one situation, because getting a Fires of Invention to actually frickin' stick against Flash is a real challenge. And that's not me bitterly speaking from experience, I assure you. Although anybody in my Twitch stream would know full well that's me absolutely bitterly speaking from experience. Getting a Fires of Invention to stick against a Flash player is incredibly difficult. And so being able to actually pull that off at instant speed on your end step while eliminating one of their threats, that sounds pretty tasty. I mean, they're just gonna have a Brazen Borrower in their hand, so at your next turn when you try to use it, they're just gonna bounce it. But still, hey, you could at least get that little victory of having it stick on the board. That's something, right? Because those frilled mystics, well, sometimes you just gotta blow them up with a lightning bolt. Good stuff. All right, thanks, guys. This has been a ton of fun. I'm Graham, also known as Hamhocks42. Presumably, I will continue to be so moving forward. You can catch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Hamhocks42. You can also catch this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. So thanks so much for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it, and I will catch you next time. And I really need to stop signing off with my right hand, because then I have to reach down to my mouse and click record and to shut off the recording. So this is a little peek behind the curtain, a little post reel, if you will. This is a little after credit sequence. Yeah. So I always salute with the right hand, then I have to reach down and then go click stop. And it always ends up taking a couple more seconds. And you know me, I can't be bothered to actually edit these things. So yeah, I really need to work on that. So I think the left hand salute, yeah, you might see that a little bit more. We'll see. Anyway, catch you next time.